welcome to another episode of Diary of a Professional. I am Ashley.
Andy.
Hello.
So,
What's up,
yes,
guys?
welcome. So, let's go into our gratitudes. I'll start
Yes.
with mine. I am grateful for PTO. Okay.
Ha!
That's what
Sorry,
I'm
I had to
grateful for.
holler on that
No, it's fine. I'm
It
grateful for
really is
PTO
nothing like it.
one.
because I took Friday off to help D move in, and I took
I have
today
so many
off.
questions.
I took today off as well just to gather myself, get the hair done. I was like, my goodness,
Okay.
I'm just happy for some PTO and some self-care, and I've just been working a lot.
Thank
So,
God for those laws, boy.
and I can't wait to play some more days throughout the summer. So,
Felt good, didn't it?
felt too good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready now.
It's addictive. It's addictive.
hmm And the outside is opening up. I'm ready.
There's really
Yeah.
nothing quite like it.
No,
There's nothing quite like it. It feels
Oh
better
my
than the
God.
weekend.
really.
Right? Like you're almost stealing or something, but it's yours to
Yeah,
take.
it's different. It's different.
Yeah.
I guess it's my turn.
Yes.
Yes, wet hair.
Listen,
Tell us about it.
yes, I had to do a little shower situation before I came on today here with you guys because let me tell y'all, moving is so much work and
Mm-hmm.
thankfully I had tons of help getting my stuff in, but when the stuff is in, it still got to get put someplace.
You're
Okay,
looking
so
at a whole bunch of yes.
so as much as I was very relieved to get the effort, that effort of getting things inside done, I'm like, man, I still got some ways to go. And
This is the real work.
COVID repercussions are still happening because these furniture
Yeah.
deliveries are taking
Mm,
some time.
Oh, yes.
And, when you're in these buildings with these freight elevators and you gotta reserve and you gotta do this and you gotta do that, it becomes complicated to get your furniture, and I need my furniture to
mm-hmm.
feel like so I could finish because it's like I have to put things,
Place things.
place
Right.
them, and if I don't have the stuff to place them in, then I can't get done. But either way, I'm grateful, man. The thing I was looking forward to the most was to look at my view at night, and
Mm.
it's just spectacular. Like the fountain at night has these
Yes.
color bulbs, and it's just beautiful and peaceful and amazing. I'm looking forward to some rain tonight so I can see what that looks like.
Ooh.
But listen,
Rain
I
is a
feel
vibe. Can we talk about how rain is a
rain is a
vibe?
vibe. Rain is a
Rain
vibe.
is a vibe.
Rain is a vibe. So I'm
Mm.
like, ooh, this is gonna look nice, probably a little sexy. So I'm excited. Sexy by myself, of course, but I'm just super grateful
That's
that
cool
that
too.
that part is over though. I'm here,
Yes.
I'm in, I'm a resident, happening.
You are a
I'm a
resident.
good portion done. I'm
Congratulations.
learning about what's going on. Yeah, a girl can't complain. A,
Yes.
And
a girl needs some PTO though, like from life, like from doing anything, like just laying in
yes,
bed. But it's okay.
yes.
It's summertime. I'll sleep in the winter.
Okay.
But also, can I
Okay.
mention, like, it was such a seamless move. Like,
Was
it was
it went
such like
very
a
well.
boom, 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 boom,
Tell
boom,
me all about it, because I wasn't even in the mix. Like,
boom.
I can
yes, it
drink
was
to
just
that, but we really made it happen. Like we was a team. We
you
were like
pop
boom,
some
boom, boom.
champagne.
Joe did bring champagne, but we actually left to go eat. We were all super
Okay.
hungry. So we did all you
Yeah.
can eat sushi.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
It was popping. We
Okay.
were so full though, and they charge you if you order too much. So we were out here.
It was
Like if you
intense.
leave it, yeah, like if you order it, you have to eat it. If you don't eat it, you
But
get
sushi has a way of
surcharged.
sneaking up on you and like, oh,
It
Yes.
whoa, I'm
does.
full. That
Correct.
rice really accumulates
Correct.
after a
Yes.
while.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So,
It's intense.
but we made it
Okay.
happen.
Okay. Okay,
It was
y'all.
delicious. We did a little hot
Mm.
sake.
Yes.
Here's to you.
Yes.
Hmm I came
Very.
prepared today, y'all.
I see.
I'm the one who's
Okay.
not prepared, clearly, and I'm always
Listen, I
prepared.
had no
And
I just
options
popped this
today.
bottle.
yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm in my room with no bed. I have nothing, as y'all see. It's
Not a blow up,
empty.
not a nothing.
Well, I have my mattress, but I don't
Mattress.
have a
Oh,
bed frame. I only have
okay,
a
okay,
mattress.
okay.
But what I
Listen,
mean
some
with
people
that
live
is
like that on a
there's
regular,
carpet.
so
This is facts,
This is
not
true.
idle.
This is true.
But let me tell
I
you,
hear that.
I have this light beige carpet, and this is
Hmm.
really the best space for me to record with you guys right now. And I'm so scared to have this glass of wine in this room.
It's a
Ooh,
So
okay,
carpet.
okay.
a girl's got a coaster, and I got
A
like
plate, what?
three little like freaking towels on it,
Okay,
like
okay, okay,
because I know myself.
okay. Okay.
Anyway.
How about we just drink it and it don't become an issue? Just the whole
Ooh,
thing.
there we go.
Yes.
Right, but then there'll be the reason.
The
Anyway, that's
Heard
me.
you.
real.
Tell
Heard
me
you.
about your moment of gratitude, Lou.
I actually also had a nice stretch of 4 days, simultaneous, like straight 4 days off, and it's been great. It's been so great. I was like, yes, like look at me going to sleep at normal hours. Like, thank God my
Mm.
body is willing to adjust to like after off a night shift or whatever, and I got to like hang out outside in my backyard. I don't do that often. And it was just a great weekend. And then I was talking to my friend who happened to FaceTime me, and one kid is on a bike, another one is on a what do you call it? Not a scooter, a skateboard, and doing their thing and learning and like growing before my eyes. And she's like, "Yo, girl, you are blessed." And I was like,
Mm.
"You know the F
Yes.
word." They didn't drive me crazy today. I feel the blessing. Like it's one thing to know you're blessed. It's another thing to feel it. And I was like, I'm gonna take that. The weather was
Mhm.
great. Like I didn't even have alcohol that day, and I fully enjoyed it. So that's how I know it was good.
Oh
So
God.
yes, it was
Mm.
a
That's
good weekend. It was a good weekend. I was grateful for that. So I just feel like
yes, yes,
maybe this is a
yes.
sign of things to come for the whole summer. Like we all deserve, honestly, after everything
Last
that's still
summer.
happening, but we deserve to break
Absolutely.
out a little bit, a little bruck out. Like it's good
Absolutely.
I'm
for the
ready.
soul. Yes.
I'm very ready.
That's all I'm saying.
So
Super ready.
yes. In that vein, also with Mother's Day coming up, um, as I guess the
Ooh,
resident mama of the group,
mama
um,
bear.
yes, I wanted to talk about being a mother in as a millennial. So that's our age range while we
Yes.
still identify. Um, but I kind of wanted to talk about, like, I guess the different challenges and our perspective coming from someone in our age range. So, especially for us who are, a lot of us are first generation in this country. When our parents came, it was a different vibe completely. Like they came here not having nothing, on straight survival, doing what had to be done no matter what. And I feel like there are times, like there's like mommy guilt and certain things, and I'll get into that about how, certain things you have to do, especially as, working mom, or having to do certain things or trying to do things for yourself. But I find that like like my mom and like people like the generation before are were like real moms, if you get what I'm saying. Like I feel like their life is family and kids.
Mm.
Like they didn't know downtime. They don't know what a spa is. If they even know what a manicure and pedi is, like they don't know girls' night. They don't know time for themselves. And I'm just like, I feel like I feel like it's important that it's just an integral part of who I am and who I need to be so I can be whole
Mm,
for my, my kids and those around me. But because I didn't grow up seeing that, so when it's like, hey, I might need a babysitter for such and such, I kind of feel guilty because that's not how it was, or we're not, even I think now we're not told like that's okay to have you time. It's not okay
mm-hmm.
to just, what I mean? Do you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. I think there's a ton of judgment there. I mean, I think, and obviously cultures, do things a little bit differently, but, um, like for my mom, for example, I mean, they did do what they did, but it was always like the kids were there. Like they, they were like, we're gonna hang out.
Shout out to her.
We're gonna hang out. We're gonna do whatever we're doing. Y'all go over there in that corner over there and do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they each part has its challenges. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Um, where I think it should have felt okay to just find another space for the kids. you know
Mm-hmm.
which I think, but for them in their mind, they're like, no, we're not going to bum our kids out. We're just going to have them be a part of
Right.
our entertainment sessions, you know?
Right. It's true. Like my mom, they used to call us growing up pocketbook because literally we were with her wherever she went. Like
Everywhere.
Mm.
even if
Even
it
the
has to
bar.
be
Oh,
well, my mom didn't
different
even go
Oh.
to
times
the
for
bars.
real.
My mom didn't go to the bar much, but like if she had to go to work, didn't have a babysitter. So I will go to work with her. Like I would
Oh,
go to work. During summertime, I was with her Monday through Friday in the Twin Tower with her. Like that's what it was. I was always
yeah.
with her. Like
Oh
that
my
was
God. Yeah.
her life,
That
mothering.
reminds me, my mom
Listen.
used to sew. She used to sew
Mm.
at this place, and she would go pick me up and go back to her sewing job, and I would go to sleep in the textiles,
Yes.
in the textile section, like in the rolls of them. I would
Yes.
just boop, lay out. Oh,
Yeah.
some
Yeah, I guess.
real situations.
Yeah, I guess as kids we don't feel like it's a burden or this is happening. It's just like another adventure, another good time. But like there is a lot of mommy guilt and feeling like either like if I want to take a girls trip, like let's go to I don't know Cancun, like nah, they're not coming with, and feeling okay
Mhm.
not being there. You know what I mean? As long as obviously it's a blessing in itself to have childcare for days on end where you don't have to worry, but like how do the whole balance of it all? You know what I mean saying? It's
Hmm.
just, I don't know. I think I still deal with that sometimes too, you know,
Mhm.
but
I think that we
I get,
should have the right to, like anything else, like create what we think is appropriate. You know what I mean? Like what
right.
feels right for us and our lifestyle, and
Yes.
be free of judgment of others. Like everybody's life looks different. Everybody's personality is different. Like some people don't need to, I don't know, to have a lot of girl time, or maybe they don't need to go on trips, or, whatever it is. Everybody has different likes and needs and wants, and maybe their needs,
Right.
likes, and wants supports having their children with them all the time, or even maybe enhanced by having the children there all the time. That doesn't mean that that's right for everybody, and that means that doesn't also mean that it's right for every child. Like
Mhm.
Right.
every soul does not appreciate, you know, having that type of family scenario.
Yes. Yes.
So I think what's most important is trying to figure what's right for each part, mom, dad, when applicable, and the children, like the children's personality, like what they're like, their sensibilities.
Girl. Girl. I think that is the thing all on its own in kind of bridging that gap of taking the good that we were raised with, but realizing there was a lot of fucking toxicity that we still have
Mm,
so much to undo. And in
so
like
much.
one, I mean, we could go deep. Okay, I'll just start with one. Like recognizing that every person or every child is their own person, is their own human being.
Mm.
They're
Mhm.
not all
Mhm.
alike. You can, you know, there's that nurture versus nature kind of thing. And you can, yes, you know, maybe lead them towards one thing or expose them to one thing, but you could have them, you know, trying to be a doctor all day, but then they want to go be a painter because that's what they feel like, accepting that. And I think it's part of our parents growing up on that survival thing where even if you hate your job and it gives you the most stress, they're never going to quit because they need that paycheck to survive. Where we're like, I'm the asset. Y'all need me more than I need
Y'all need
you.
me.
Deuces.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not putting up with this. We're not for it. And I think, you know, it's kind of like for me in the Haitian culture, and I'm sure for you guys, a lot. If you're not a lawyer, doctor, engineer, or nurse as a female, you ain't shit. Like, you ain't, you like, why did I even have you?
What are you doing with your life?
What's your purpose?
They
What's your purpose?
literally don't even understand where the money come from or what you do. But
And they
like, but
won't.
they won't. But something like resonated with me with what you said, and it reminds me of something Sadhguru said one time, and he got asked like, oh, Sadhguru, you know, he's pretty famous, religious leader or whatever, and he's like, they asked him like, oh, you know, how should we raise our children? Like, give us advice on raising our children.
Right.
And he goes, we don't raise children, we raise cattle. He's like, we guide children, we shepherd children, we do not raise children. He's like, the
Wow.
biggest mistake we make is thinking that we can mold them, shift them, have them be one thing or another, or do things the way that you want them done or how you see them being done. um Biggest mistake. So I think that, and I think the second thing that I think runs a lot in our cultures is
Mm-hmm.
that building an entire identity around being a mom. And entire,
Mm.
like, the only thing you see yourself as is a mom, and then, you know, your child becomes kind of like a pet where like they have to fill all of your love and intimacy. They're responsible for it. And there's really
Yes.
Yeah.
nothing more toxic than having a poor child
Oof,
feeling like they are responsible for your happiness. My Lord.
True,
girl.
and it becomes a whole codependency issue, and the
Mm,
enmeshments in each other's lives. It's hard to separate, and that child don't even know who they are as a person after a while because they're feeding into their mother or that
yeah,
parental figure.
yeah, yeah. They want to
Simple.
constantly fulfill the expectations, you know. It's your mom. Like, you
Yes.
don't want, especially when you're young, you know, as you're young, when you're younger, like you don't get to discern. You're like, this is my mom. I love her. I want to make her happy. You know, you're not realizing that you're compromising who you are as a soul being. Like,
Yes.
you're not realizing that. And you know, then it becomes this trauma basically, because you know, not all trauma has to be like hitting or sexual abuse. Like,
Right.
there's
Mm-hmm.
other
Yes.
type of trauma, you know, and that trauma feeling like you can't be yourself, you know, you constantly have to just,
Seek approval.
yeah, like you're basically a what are they, like monkey acts, like what is the saying, like show monkey, a show monkey. You're
Oh,
basically a show
yes.
monkey because you're just putting on a
Performing.
show. You're performing
Yeah,
whatever it is that they want, how they want it,
Mm-hmm.
when they want it.
Mm-hmm.
and I
Yeah.
feel like as generation, like as millennial moms,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they are trying to break those generational curses. Trying
Girl.
to do the work because they see
Yes.
what their parents went through, why they are the way they are, and trying to improve on themselves to be better for their children. And
Yes.
that's what I respect for our generation here.
Yeah,
See
I
what's
think our
been going on.
generation is trying very hard.
We don't get the
A good
credit
number of
because,
us, a good number of
whoo,
us at least.
whoo,
This
it is
like
a
cusp
task.
generation is
Yeah.
Yeah,
very interesting.
we're not like all the day disrespectful the way I feel like the one under us are, but like we demand, like we're starting to be like, no, 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 I have a voice, and being okay with like, being that agitator, ruffling those feathers and really like,
Hmm.
but really, like, are you doing it because this is what you were taught and this is just what you know, or do you really believe it? Like, did you actually put some logical thought behind that? Like, if you
Mhm.
did, you'd
We're
realize this is
inquisitive.
crazy. Yes, we got questions.
My
I
mama
need
hated it.
questions.
I
I
loved
need
asking
questions.
why.
I
I
need
need
questions.
questions.
Listen, if you want quality answers, you better ask some quality questions. And my mama hated it so much, but I loved asking me some questions. No,
Yes,
why?
you ahead of your time. Because let me tell you,
Yeah.
these children out
¿Por
here,
qué?
they're different. I feel like our parents couldn't like deal with the way like grandparents, they're the best. They love their grandkids more than they
Of
love their own
course.
children. But let me tell you, like my daughter, okay? You can't just tell her something and be like, because I said so. Because she will question it all day long. Well, I don't think and I don't feel and da 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 and mommy, that's
Hmm.
not fair. And it's crazy because first of all, one of the hardest things I think in being a parent is realizing that you have to raise yourself in another body. Okay?
Yeah.
Because your children have so many traits of you that like even as adults we have an issue with fixing ourselves. It takes a lot of work, like that self-work that the people always talk about. Now imagine trying to do that in another little something, but still not, like your traits are there. So, and kids definitely do what they see, not what you say. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's like I appreciate her spirit because especially as a female in this world, I want her to question things. I want her to stand up for herself. And I think it's the biggest disservice to if a child has something to say, like having them shut up or not speak their truth or how they feel, because when they're older and you're like speak up or say what you condition them to shut the fuck up. So
Yeah.
you can't all
And
of a sudden
mhm.
demand it from them.
And for the most part, that's their natural state. Like
Yep.
Mhm.
that's their natural state. We only become, quiet and accepting and a follower
Mhm.
after being conditioned by
Mhm.
parents, society, school, like don't move, sit, like even to go to like literally like animals, like oh, you gotta if you gotta go use the bathroom, you gotta ask a million questions. You gotta,
You
I
gotta
mean,
wait to be
it's
called
you
on.
gotta be waits to be called on. Like
Hmm.
I don't know. I have a lot of concerns about some of those practices, to be honest.
Rightfully so.
I think it inhibits a lot of our children's creativity. And I think we might have
Mhm.
spoken about this a little bit in the past, just like in general, like our society not being accepting of certain personality types, and that really starts to manifest itself early in school time because school is
Yes.
geared for certain person. I'm not saying there aren't special schools that are doing amazing things to
Not
be,
enough of them.
but there are not enough of them. They are few and very far in between. And let's be honest, it is in neighborhoods where we are very well underrepresented.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Speak on
I could
that.
drink to that too.
Mm.
I had to
Ooh.
take a drink to that because,
Yes.
I could think back in my school days, you know what I mean? Like, I was always loud. I always wanted to talk a lot. And, you get so much shit for it. I'm relentless
And
though. That shit
You
that
are
didn't
was
stop
also
relentless.
the
me.
age.
That shit didn't stop me, but
Yes.
it does some. And you start feeling bad about who you are. And, you know,
I mean,
Especially
it's
if you have
definitely
that
shaped
parent
me.
who's a teacher is always right,
mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm,
know,
mm-hmm.
where you just aren't believed because you're a child.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
But how
Correct.
has it shaped you, Ashley? Sorry for interrupting.
No, it shaped me because I've always been that follower where I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, they want me to be quiet, I'll be quiet. If they want me to sit, I'll sit. I will only speak if only spoken to. Like I've always been that way.
Right.
It's not until maybe the past few years where I'm trying to find, or where I have been finding my voice,
Right.
um, and expressing myself and really showing how I feel and questioning things because before I wouldn't really question anything. So it really does do a
Yes.
disservice. Um, so yeah, that's how I say it. It's definitely a
Yes.
conditioning thing. That it's
Yes.
a conditioning.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. It's really sad. And back to the whole millennial parent thing,
Mm-hmm.
I think that self-awareness that I think has been happening a lot because of being a cusp generation, just having more access to things and not having had access to then having access, I think brings an interesting element. So, we're inquisitive to find things and we're understanding things more and we're trying to bring that element to the kids in our lives. I try to bring that to my niece and my nephew as much as possible. Like, hey,
Hmm.
like,
Yes.
and my niece's 15th, everybody had to say a sentence about, yeah, keep it up, behave and follow and
Mm-hmm.
follow, instructions, like what they tell you, whatever.
I know you
And I'm
came through with the
like,
fuck that shit.
I was like, okay. So of course, when I said something, I was like, being yourself and being a little rebellious is good. Like, no one's
Okay.
saying like, go be a hoe or like do drugs or whatever, but like there is a level of rebellion that's important. And it doesn't
Live your
have to
life.
be bad things. It could be just different things, like things your parents never did just because, they were different or they didn't have access or whatever the case may be. But like
Right.
be be okay with being different, being yourself,
Hmm.
exploring something. I feel like we're losing so much exploration. Like it's all we're in is like TikTok all day, seeing other
Oh.
people do random
Whew.
stupid shit, and they are not doing a thing. They're not doing anything. They're not going
No.
outside. They're not hanging out
They're
with
not.
friends. They're not creating anything. They are literally
No.
watching TikTok, watching YouTube videos, and playing Roblox. Like, this is
Yes.
all that's happening here.
Can I tell
It's
y'all another
scary.
thing? That is very scary. But another thing that's happening too, because I don't know if it was prevalent when we were growing up, but like whether it's with sex trafficking or just stealing children,
Oh,
like
no, no,
Oh
no,
my
we
don't talk to
used
me
to
about
gosh.
be
that.
able, yes, we used to be able to be on the block. You don't
Hmm.
see kids outside. So it's such a balance of letting them run free. And maybe because in New York City it's a little different because kids be taking subways from young or whatever. But like then it becomes like on the parent to then now find different outlets for your kids to have fun. And let me tell you, these little rugrats are exhausting. Like you can't just
They
necessarily be like,
are.
go outside, go play with your friends,
Nope.
go ride around the block,
Nope.
because you don't want nobody taking them.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because they're exposed to stuff, some of these kids, no, they don't want to go just to the park. They want to go to that experience that YouTube told them your parents can pay for and do this thing.
Hmm.
And it was like,
They want to
can
go
y'all
to
stay out of
Sky
my
Zone. They want to go
stay out of my pockets? Yes.
Hmm.
to. They don't want no like jacks on the in the
No.
in the backyard. They don't want to. They
No.
don't want to give each other
Hopscotch.
baths. No, they don't want to take
Oh,
the hose.
hopscotch.
They don't want to hose.
Yes.
Oh, some
Ho-
hopscotch.
who
Hose
didn't
themselves
drink hose
down. They don't want to
water?
do that. Come on.
Okay.
I took so many showers with hose water.
Yo,
Literally,
just the
like when
sprinkler
it
going like
rains,
this.
Oh,
we just
that
like,
was
please, please,
everything.
that was everything. Please let me go out in the rain. Please let me go out in there. We just wanted to go dance in the rain, out in the rain, like just
Yes.
normal, simple shit.
To give
Yes.
us a sprinkler
I
and
mean,
a
don't get
hula
me wrong,
hoop.
we had video games, but we still wanted to do things and go
Were
out.
we allowed to just be sitting in front of a screen all day? No, they just kicked us.
No.
They didn't
I
let
mean,
us.
we played a lot, but we still were like, bye, we're gonna go out. And our parents didn't even
Yeah,
want
a
us out
balance.
like that. Oh, but back to the sex trafficking thing, because I wanted to mention
Yes. Mm.
Operation Underground Railroad, guys. If you guys have any money to spare, it's an amazing organization that I donate to, and they work on stopping this problem of child trafficking. I mean, this is insane. Like they go out and basically rescue. kids that are being enslaved in this way. And
Necessary work.
it's beating drugs in the market right now. I mean, it's a commodity that you can resell um, basically endlessly.
Yes.
Um, yeah,
And then
so
the demand for it is disgustingly high.
it's insane.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more than drugs. This is why.
Yes.
This is why it's beating drugs in the
Yes.
market.
And I think
Beating
that's
drugs in the market.
another added thing because you know how it says it takes a village, and it does. And let me tell you, I am blessed with an amazing village. Y'all are part of that village. Like people like y'all keep me saying whether it's for towards my kids or just being a homegirl to me, like it's all necessary, it's all part of the plan. But you realize you can't just be trusting everybody, and even family
Mm-mm.
or people
You
you was
cannot.
really close with, whether they're neglectful or whether they're abusive in many different forms, like it's not okay. And you never want to have, I like, those are the one I feel is I never want to put my children in a position where something happens that I can't undo, I can't help, I can't change. And it is like, it's scary because this world is scary as
Yes.
fuck.
Yes.
But that's also part of it because there's a lot that you can't, save them from, but you want to prepare them or let them know. You know what I mean? Because, like, let's say, I'm sure y'all didn't get the sex talk because I never got the sex talk. You
What?
just figure
No.
some shit out. But y'all, it just, so that, right. You just figured it out, or you happen to watch a porn video and, oh,
And
that's
then
where
you're
that
like,
goes. Okay, cool.
I don't
Exactly.
know. I felt like sex was just, it's like they don't want to have the talk, but it's like everyone knows. Like at a certain age, and it's a very young age, sex is in the radar. Like it just is. It's in the media, it's in your
Don't let them
music,
schools
it's in
teach it.
people are talking. Like
Right.
what? Like grown-ups are talking. We're there. Like kids understand.
Way more than you realize. And like the other day, my daughter was just like, we're talking about kids and like having, she was like, I mean, mommy, if you are going to have another child, you need to go get a boyfriend. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, mommy, that's how it works at 7. And I was just like,
no.
and then I was just like, okay. Okay, I guess that's how it works. I'm not going to lie to her. Like, we use the words
No.
penis and vagina. I mean, I don't know if that's just the nurse in me, but like, you need to know what they are. They don't have like little nicknames for it. But, when they start budding or, certain body parts, or you have to be like, no, you can't just be lifting your shirt as a girl, it might be that time, especially because people are
Mhm.
looking at them. My kids are tall for the age, they're big for the age. People already think they're bigger than they are. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like you don't want to scare them, but they need to know the
But
real.
they have
Yeah.
to know certain things so they can identify if it's wrong. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
They don't being touched is
Yes.
inappropriate because that's innate.
Right.
That's
Yes.
an innate feeling. You're feeling like, abused. But they're doubtful. They don't know, and they don't know how to vocalize it if we don't give them the words, if we don't prep them with the words like, hey, if somebody touches you here, you got to let me know.
Like a bad.
It's
Well, Ashley, you deal with this on a
And
regular.
correct,
yeah, that's what I was
correct.
gonna say. It's a shame because I feel like I see cases where they don't know until they have a sex ed class.
Mm,
And then they're like, oh, that's what happened to me when I was 8 years old. Or,
right.
oh, that's what happened to me. I didn't know what that was. I knew there was something wrong, but
Hmm.
Right.
I didn't say anything because I wasn't sure. And not until like years later, and they're like, in a sex class, like a sex education class. Like,
Yes.
oh. So I do feel like parents, they need to have this kind of
Yeah.
conversation.
And that's
And this is a
actually at least a
millennial
real
thing. This
class.
is a millennial
Yes.
thing. Like we are about, I mean, come on. We were growing up with songs like "Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk
And
about
yeah,
me.
Good.
You know what I mean? So we are ready to have these conversations, I think, way more than these other
absolutely. TLC used to
generations.
have condoms. They used to wear condoms
Yes.
on
Yes,
I
them.
didn't know
yes.
what they were back then.
I used
I
to, because
did.
we were in elementary school, so I'd be like, let's talk about baby. Like I would just
Let me tell you, I remember growing up, I was like, I don't know what this is, but like when Red Light Special was on, I was like, I probably shouldn't be singing this around my mom. I didn't know what a Red Light Special was, but I knew it just felt way too sexy to be okay.
hmm
That's
Okay?
true.
always had
Yes.
Yes,
that sense
but
like we
also
this is
even,
naughty.
but also even like as a, I guess, millennial provider,
Right.
as a pediatric nurse practitioner, like a lot of times I get referred for reproductive health because the older generation, like the older pediatricians, they're not gonna touch that. They're not gonna talk about it really
They think
discuss.
just
They're
say
not gonna,
abstinence and that's it.
And
yeah,
that's
I don't,
it.
that ain't never
So true.
worked.
It
they're
didn't
not
work
comfortable.
ever.
Nope, they're not. It's not. They're not comfortable prescribing birth control. So all that kind of that whole conversation, they're not really gonna have.
But now you have to go
That
refer
is so
them
sad. And
to
these are our
an
healthcare providers.
obstetrician because now they're pregnant because you didn't want to have that talk.
Right.
Nobody
So
want to have that talk.
I've realized that over the so few years, well, as an NP, I'm like, man, these some pediatricians, the older ones, they're 60s or so forth, they're not really trying to have this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's
And
true.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's a lot of the kids trying to navigate it, us millennials trying to navigate it the best we know how, and hopefully that trial and error, the consequences aren't too dire and too permanent, but sometimes it is.
Mm.
hmm
I don't know.
There's unfortunately always a little facts, but yeah, I'm thankful for these. I mean, the sex ed classes I think come a little too late in the game, is my
Right.
opinion. But
Yes.
we'll keep reforming that, at least we have them now. I guess in most places, because I know there are still places that don't have them, which is
Ooh,
crazy.
yeah. Yes.
Um, but another, uh, just another super important thing that us millennials are cracking on down. So many amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Marlu, bless you, because you're already going down that parenting
Woo,
journey.
mm.
Girl, 7 years in.
I know. Well, soon to
I don't
be
know how we got here.
Very
Yeah,
soon
don't
to be
remind
8.
me. Don't remind me.
Just
Don't
say
remind
8,
me,
really, at
child.
this
Yeah, I'm
point.
like soon to be 8. Like, let's just
Like,
You,
round
you're
it
just say
right.
out.
8.
You're right. You're right.
Eh.
You're right.
8,
But
really.
do you have any advice, Marlu, millennial mommies out there?
Give a little
Little,
Ooh,
closeout
some of my
advice here
nuggets.
for our, yeah,
Okay.
for our mamas.
I'm going to say that, like, for me, it's, yes, it's hard, but it's so worth it. And no one way is the right way. And no matter what you do, someone's going to have something to say. And even if they're paying your bills, they, you are the parent. You know what's right. You know what's best. Um, and I think you have to always do what's best for you. I think you have to, kids will teach you patience and let them teach you because then you don't want to be the mistake that, you don't want to be the reason why your child is in deep therapy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's okay to say, I'm sorry to your child. It's okay to admit you're wrong. Um, there's a level of humility that you need to have because you end up realizing that you're like raising yourselves as you're raising your kid because it's a different level that you have to grow into. But embrace it in your way because people always going to have something to say. So if you want to be, shaking your ass, if you want to be out here living your life how you want to do it, that doesn't make you any less of a mom. Some just wish they could without the repercussions.
mm,
So,
I love that. And I
yeah.
just want to add one thing to that. Like, that little soul that you're a mother to, to our crowd, they entrusted you to make decisions and to be yourself. They didn't entrust Joe Schmo down the street, they didn't entrust Emily, Stephanie, or whatever down the road. They entrusted you.
Yes.
So, as a parent, your intuition is the most important.
Yes.
The most important.
Yes.
Ah, we love you, mothers out there, just out here
Yes.
crushing it, doing the hardest job out there in the
Doing that.
world, boys.
And listen, if you
Yes.
don't want to see your kids for Mother's Day, that's okay too. You don't have
Yes.
to go do things with them. That's your day. Okay? Yeah.
Facts.
I'm saying it. I'm
And with
saying.
and with on that note,
Yes.
to our mothers out there, we love you a shit ton.
Yes.
Y'all are amazing.
To the queen in
To the queen in
To the
you.
you.
queen in you.
Happy Mother's
Mwah.
Day,
Happy
Marlu.
Mother's Day,
Thank you,
y'all.
boo. To all the mamas.
Till next time, y'all.